Hi everyone, welcome back to another episode of Sunday Nights with Faye Seidler. This time, I'm not sick like I was last week, which is good news for me if I can be healthy forever. I am trying to be immortal. I have been successful so far. But my health aside, what do we got going for the news? We're going to talk more about me, I guess. I am giving a training or a presentation actually called Keeping Hope While Fighting for Change. I'll be presenting this at the League of Women Voters first Friday, September 5th at 12 p.m., where I will yap about why we should continue to be resilient and hopeful even in times like this where we feel so divided and quite hopeless about the systems that we have every day. So I'm there to say we still got a chance. we can still do things. Yay, that's what I got. So that's a thing for me. Faye News. In news that's not about me, Southeast Human Services is doing community listen sessions kind of all across the Fargo-Moorhead region or Cass Clay County region, and they have many opportunities for people to engage. Listening sessions are typically how local clinics or hospitals or anything can see what the problems are in the actual community. There are 4, I think, in-person events and 1 online event for people to get involved. I recommend doing so if you're able to let them know about what's going on in your life and your community. I want to highlight some events that have happened and will continue to be happening as part of the All African Festival North Dakota. They will have a grand finale concert, and dinner on August 31st at Broadway in downtown Fargo. All the events that have happened that I'm highlighting here that you can check and read are about African culture, heritage, games, activities, just a way for people in this area to become more knowledgeable about what it's like for people who are from Africa. In a similar note, individuals are welcome to apply to the Board of Directors for CASA. Their vision statement is, we envision a thriving Latino community where culture is celebrated, leadership is nurtured, community needs are addressed, and every individual has an opportunity to succeed. I want to highlight that Suicide Prevention Month is next month, so there's going to be a lot of activity from our American Foundation for Suicide Prevention and many of our suicide prevention partners across the state, including one, Faye Seidler. It's back to me. I get the spotlight again. Not really, but soon. I just want to let you know there's a lot of walks, and walks can be a very powerful event, Out of the Darkness Walk, to really connect with and see so many individuals across our state coming together to say there is hope, that we do care, that reach out before it's too late kind of situation. These are walks that I've been attending this will be my probably 3rd walk, and each time is a powerful moment of reflection. I recommend getting involved if you are interested. In other news, Rob Port asked the question, why baby so expensive? Why baby so much? Why baby so much in different cities? He didn't write that way, but he could, and it would be kind of funny. He often does not make those jokes, but I do for him. That's why you get Faye involved in these things. He does highlight the fact that medical costs across North Dakota and our region and the country are bad and different and confusing about why they have such a different price. There isn't much to the piece except for just highlighting this discrepancy. The underlying reality is this is the result of not having universal health care, and that we are continuing to have this arms race between insurance companies and healthcare companies, and it's the patient who suffers every time. So it's another thing where it sucks. Life sucks, and it should be better. And it continues to hope that we maybe focus on this more in our legislative sessions to create more real opportunities for strong regulation to protect consumers and patients so they don't have to have alarmingly different bills depending on where they might happen to go. I have a couple stories around youth that I'm just going to kind of rapid fire off. The first one, not technically about youth, but about our legislators and how well they did for schools, I think, with Indy United's scorecard. You can check out how your legislator did, see if you would still like them in office during elections in 2026. We do have to participate in democracy if we want the people that are making laws to represent the values that we care about, and if they're not, maybe they shouldn't be there anymore. Scorecards like Indy United's are really important for getting this, but honestly, whatever your values are, check out the organization that does that work to let you know, because it's a full-time job trying to assess where our lawmakers are. I know, I do that work. It's a lot. But in a little bit rougher news, there is a story breaking about a dozen North Dakota children and teens disappearing within 17 days within North Dakota, which is a lot. There's also commentary from Prairie Rose. I don't know if it's specifically around that or around the missing Indigenous youth that we have all across our state that it ties into our Feather Alert system. And both of these stories tie into the fact that it's not necessarily doing as much as it probably should. I don't have enough information to make direct comment on that, but the things that I've read made it seem like the system could have been a little bit more robust, not from the lack of effort from advocates, but just what happened to it while it became law. Encourage looking into these pieces, though. As kids go back to school, and also they are no longer having access to cell phones. This is causing a lot of anxiety, and there's a lot of, I don't know, noise in this conversation, and a lot of good points on keeping or not keeping cell phones handy. But we aren't really having conversations anymore, and we're just yelling our points the loudest. So I don't have much to say, except that we really need to check in with youth. We really need to make sure they're supported. And I don't just mean like, how's your day, sport? I mean like, actually, like, are you doing okay? We have access to therapy resources if you need them. We have things like 911 if you're in crisis. We have 211 for general help. Any way you can connect youth to any avenue of support is good, and you should do it. And if they are queer, the research says that they're more likely to be around longer if you give them support, especially if they're trans and non-binary. All the research is very clear on this, that the more safe they feel in their environments, the better they're going to do. And we should probably do more work on that, and I'll probably be doing it. So yay, more work being done. There's been a lot of voter disenfranchisement lately with trying to remove mail-in ballots. This is something that both League of Women Voters locally have staunchly been opposed to, as well as Indian Native Vote, where our indigenous population are going to be more directly impacted by things like this. Mail-in voting, mail-in ballot voting, our elections are extremely secure. They are, no one has stolen elections. And any of this fear-mongering does little except for hurt our ability to be a democracy. Talking to people on either party that really love democracy and making sure people have their right to vote testify towards the fact our elections are extremely secure, or at least they were. We do have issues with things like gerrymandering and disenfranchisement in general, but the idea that fraud is being committed en masse through ballots or any kind of thing like that is just nonsense. And the harder we make it for people to vote, the more we disenfranchise them, the less of a democracy we really are. These are not real problems. There's not evidence of these problems, and they hurt everyone. To read it about anyone who cares about democracy. If you work in behavioral, good segue, if you work in behavioral health and family services, there's a conference coming up and you can nominate someone for various awards. You have until September 5th, not long from now. You should get on that if you know someone working in these fields to celebrate them, because I think it's important that we celebrate each other, especially our peers. So do that, celebrate someone. And saving the best news for last is that Taco Bell opened up in Williston to record-breaking numbers. The folks of Williston devoured that Taco Bell. It is gone now. They ate the sign. It is a little bit scary out there, to be honest. They have to build a whole new Taco Bell. But that's just, I feel like, spiritually feels good. Like, that's a good story, right? A Taco Bell opened and we got record-breaking sales. We love our Taco Bell up here. I do. I grew up in a Taco Bell, basically. It was a good time. I like Taco Bell. So I just want to share that story. I like little community stories like this that don't have to mean nothing big, but I just like them in general. As a final thing to leave you with tonight, I have a lot of work coming up in September for the LG Plus Safety Task Force. As of right now, I am taking videos today, and then I'll be posting some of them tomorrow. But there are videos where I am asking people to do a message of hope for the queer youth that are currently entering our school systems and having to survive them again. In the interest of keeping this episode a little bit shorter than, 5 hours, I'm not going to get into all the things that I would like to about that, but I just want to say that if you are interested in keeping our LGBTQ plus youth safe in any capacity, just give me a nickel, I don't care. Please get in touch with me, because I have a lot of things that'll be starting to move on in September, and I'll have a lot more information about that, not necessarily on the show, but I'll talk about it here for people to get involved, because the numbers are really, really bad, and we're not even recording them anymore. So we need a lot of folks to, if they're able to donate any kind of time or effort or money, to please help me, because there's very little being done to help any of them anywhere in our state. So I'm going to do my best, however that goes. But I will continue like my training September 5th, League of Women Voters, to fight for hope, to fight for there to be a better tomorrow, to be resilient to the challenges of today, and to rise up to the kind of people history needs us to be. So that's me with Sunday Nights with Faye Seidler. your news host, about news and things, and I will be hopefully back next week if I maintain being healthy, hopefully, for a long time, and being immortal for longer, hopefully. So, see you forever. Bye. There has been a lot of voter disenfranchisement. Yeah, there's been a lot of voter disenfranchisement, lady. There's been a lot of voter disenfranchisement lately.